today. I'm going to run through the AEC Daily Live Learning System. I'll run a demo today. A couple things just to start off before we get rolling. When we're done today and you start to use the system, we will make sure that you guys all have access to both my contact information and my colleague Moji Gumbo. We are a great source of support, and you can reach out to us at any time, okay? This whole system came about because the learners, your potential clients and clients, complained vigorously about the delay in getting their certificates and the credits being assigned to their transcripts. And from your perspective, the big complaints were that it was taking, that it takes just an inordinate amount of time to manually key the information in and get the credits reported and then get you guys your sales leads back. Just before we go along much further, I'm going to ask if you guys can mute, but certainly if you have any questions as we're moving along, please feel free to do so. So when you log in to aecdaily.com, you will come to this window. This is your live session dashboard, and this is kind of where you start when you're setting up sessions, all right? When you come to your live session dashboard, just as a point of reference, you have a downloadable PDF file that has the most commonly asked questions and the corresponding responses. This is a great reference tool for you guys as you start to use the system. This whole system works on a mobile device, on a tablet, and on your computer. So on your live session dashboard, you have two tabs, current sessions and ancient history. Current sessions are any sessions that are scheduled from today's date forward, and ancient history are any sessions that are created prior to today's date. So when you book a session with a firm, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log in and you're going to click on schedule a new session. Once you've done that, you will pick the course that you're going to present. You are the instructor and you are the contact. So you put your information in. I'm going to put mine in today so I can show you a little bit more about how the system works. Okay? And then you scroll down. I've got somebody who isn't muted. Cynthia, can you mute, please?
I just unmuted to answer you. My phone's muted.
Okay. I've got some good background noise going on. Okay. So we will. So the location name is the name of the firm, and then you would click on the date and time. So you pick the year, month, date, and then please note that it is a 24-hour clock, so you need to just be mindful of that when you're filling the time in. Put in the address information for the firm. This area will be blank, so you will click Get Latitude, Longitude to populate that. Then you come down here, and we have a set of defaults. These are the most commonly used, and so we've set them as the defaults, but there are some options. So I'd like to run through those options with you. So any session that you complete or that you schedule at a firm where only the attendees from that firm are permitted to attend, that is considered to be a closed or private session. Public session is a little bit different. Public session would be any session that you would do where any industry professional has the opportunity to attend. So let's say, for example, you have a local trade show and you're going to present an education session. Perhaps you're going to do an email blast inviting people to come and attend. That would be a public session, okay? Public session generally means there's a venue, and that venue would have a maximum seating capacity. You would put that number in here. And then in the waiting list address, you would put your email address. And here's why. So if you're doing an email blast, people would be pre-registering. And what you want to make sure is that you don't over-prescribe that particular session. So the 31st person that would go to pre-register for this session would in fact receive an email letting them know that that session is currently full. Their information is then sent along to you because your information is in here. The other thing that happens when you set up a public session is on AEC Daily, we have what we call a live session map. And on this map are markers for sessions that are available to the public or the industry professionals to attend. And so they can actually look in their region, they can sort by date or by state, and they can see what sessions might be available in their area, okay? They also have the ability to pre-register directly from this screen. So this supports any marketing initiatives you have to drive a pre-registration for a public session, okay? So for today, we're gonna set this as private because we don't want it to appear on that map. The session is status is active. And then we have two things down here. So if you're outside of your own normal area and you're doing a session and you need to make arrangements for food, for lunch, for example. Well, if that's the case, then what you probably are not familiar with, what's available in that area. So you can actually select include food links. What that'll do is when you get your email confirmation that you set the session up, and I'll show you that in 1 second, it will provide you with links that allow you, that are 3-star and above through Google that are close in location to this particular session. Email with calendar links, we recommend that you leave it at that, although you can certainly select without, okay? So we're gonna submit this. And when we do, it now appears on your live session dashboard, okay? So now that you've set the session up, you will receive an email. Let me just find it. So you will receive an email confirmation letting you know that you've successfully set up that session, okay? All the session details. And then there are a number of things. So there's a pre-registration link and a walk-in link. I'm gonna double back and show you a little bit more about those in a minute. We talked about adding a calendar link. So what this does now is it gives you the opportunity to add this particular session directly to your calendar. And then as far as the food options, these are the options that offer takeout and delivery options that are within very close distance to the venue where you'll be presenting. Okay, so we're going to come back to these two in just 1 second. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get people pre-registering for this session. So when you click on the link under pre-registration, the system actually creates a unique URL that is specific to this session on this date, at this time, at this location. So what that means is every time you set up a new session, there is a new and unique pre-registration link for each session, okay? So what you do now is you take that link and you copy and paste it into an email and you send it off to your contact at the firm, all right? And when you do that, you're gonna ask them to distribute that link to those people that will be attending the session for them to pre-register. By pre-registering, this will ensure that the attendees will receive their credit and their certificate in a much more timely fashion. So you can see this unique URL here. It also appears here in your confirmation email that when you were setting up your session. Please note, do not forward this email to your contact at the firm. There's too much information on here that doesn't apply to them, and it will become very confusing. Okay, so we want a separate email. So when the learner opens up the link, they will see this. They will, if they're an AIA member, they will click and continue, and the system will prompt them to add their AIA number and their information. If they're not an AIA member, then they would just simply go in and fill out their information. And as you know, if you're filling something out on your own computer, then chances are you've done this many times before. And so pre-registration is just that fast. So the nice thing is gone are going to be those days of that piece of paper being passed around the room and everyone writing their chicken scratch on it. So the other thing that happens, let me just minimize this, is when somebody pre-registers, they also receive an email confirming that they've successfully pre-registered, who the sponsor is, the details of the session, and they too have an opportunity to add that particular event directly to their calendar. Okay? So occasionally what will happen is when you reach out to a firm that asking them to send the link out, they will let you know that they already have everybody's information and they will provide that to you. If that's the case, you're going to ask them to email that information over to you prior to the session. This will allow you to do a pre-registration en masse. So this little up arrow here is where you have the ability to do that bulk upload, which will allow you to pre-register a large group in one shot. Again, no keying. So the important things to note, there is a template here that you can download. You do need to make sure that the fields match the template. So while you may not fill in all of the columns, it's important to make sure that the appropriate ones are completed. You save the file as a CSV onto your computer. Please note all the directions are here. Honestly, this is not used nearly as frequently as it used to be. So if you're not sure about how to do this and you come across this situation, please don't hesitate reaching out to us. So once you've saved it as a CSV, you pick the file up off your computer and you say upload the file. It will tell you if you've done that, if the upload's been successful, and if there's a problem, it will also guide you as to where that problem might be. Okay? So what's happened now is these icons have changed. This one was gray and there was no I when you first set your session up. And now that there are people in the session, the icons have changed to black. So when I click on the I, you can now see that the first person that I pre-registered using the link is here, and the rest of the list has been uploaded in bulk in one shot. Okay? So now you can see all the people that have pre-registered. So invariably, you will not have 100% compliance when it comes to the pre-registration. So you need to have a means to be able to register people on site. That's where this walk-in link comes in. When you click on it, again, it is unique to this session. It is not the same as the pre-registration link because it points to a different spot, and I'll show you that in 1 second. Again, when we go back to that email, you can see the walk-in link is here, okay? And again, it is unique to that particular session, okay? So what's important to note is that I have two camps of people when it comes to the walk-in registration, how people like to handle it. I have those people that have a tablet. They like to bring their tablet, open this up, and have this window on their tablet so that when people are arriving, you're welcoming them. If they have not pre-registered, then people hand them the tablet and they ask them to register using the tablet. More popular these days is having people use their own device, okay? So what we recommend that you do is you take this link, you copy and paste it onto the welcome page of your presentation so that as people are arriving, if they have not pre-registered, you ask them to take out their mobile device, go to this URL and register using their own device. We live in a world of technology. When you go out to present, you're presenting a leading edge product, you know, by a leading edge manufacturer. And so bringing in leading edge technology for registration is not, it certainly supports, you know, your presentation, okay? So if they are using their own device, again, chances are they've filled in the form previously or a form, and so the information is going to be very quick. It's important to note, regardless of whether or not they're an AIA member, it is important that every single person who attends your session registers. If they don't register, they will not receive a certificate. Okay, and it's important for two reasons. If they don't get, some of these attendees are not members of AIA, but they are members of other organizations, and they may use that certificate to self-report. Most importantly, though, is that these attendees are your sales leads. So if they don't register, then you don't have access to their information. Okay? So at the end of your session, we recommend that you do your attendance at the end. As you know, sometimes you end up with the last minute stragglers coming in. You want to make sure that you have everyone captured. Again, you can use your tablet or your own mobile device, and you would click on the clipboard. Okay? This is where you have two tabs, pre-registered and in attendance. So anyone who pre-registered using that link, or you pre-registered them by doing the bulk upload, they end up under this tab. Anyone who registers on site, they're automatically put into, they're already on site, okay? So you don't have to take attendance with them. So the only thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the people that pre-registered actually showed up. So it's just a matter of a quick click of the Here button, okay? If somebody says to you, you know what, I forgot to give you my AIA number, I've got it with me now, that's no problem. You can click on their name, add the information, or update their information as you're moving through this, okay? Very quick, click on the Here button. If somebody pre-registered and did not show up to the session, you do not check them in, you leave them, okay? So the last and final thing that you have to do before you leave that building is, once you're sure that you have everyone captured, okay, and these are all the list of the people that attended, you want to click on Submit Attendees. It's important that you do this before you finish up your session on site, okay, and here's the reason why. The minute you click on that Submit Attendee button, each and every person that attended your session will be sent an email with a link to access their certificate, okay? So technically speaking, they leave the room, they go back to their desk, open up their email, and sitting in their email will be that link for them to access their certificate. There is no delay any longer, okay? This was one of the biggest beefs that the learners had. And so right now, again, you're showing, as a company, you've got a system that supports your ability to be responsive to their requests and needs, okay? We have one last piece of housekeeping that needs to be done, and that is, we had one person that pre-registered but did not show up. We've had no contact with that person, so we need to remove them, okay? This is the last step to make sure that this session is closed out. You can see that this is back to gray. This is gray. This means that there are there's nobody in the session that hasn't been processed. Okay, so far so good? All right, so the next thing we need to look at is, how are you going to access your sales leads? So over here is a button called Statistics. So when you click on Statistics, a new window is going to open up, and you're going to log in with the same username and password, all right? Then you're going to click on Live Session Reports. When you click on Live Session Reports, you have the ability to access your sessions by date or individual session, or you can run it by date range. And when you run that report, you will see that here is all the information for the people that attended your session. So again, the minute you hit that Submit Attendee button, not only did it send all of the certificates out to those people attending, but you now have access to all of your sales leads instantaneously, and you can download them here. The other thing that the system did when you submitted attendees was it created a singular PDF file that contains all of the certificates for everyone who attended that session. So what that means is, if Susan came back to you 6 months down the road and said, oh my goodness, I'm being audited, I don't know where my certificate is, can you reissue? You don't have to worry about waiting for someone to do that. You now can actually come in, pick up her certificate and send it out to her directly. Okay, again, supporting that notion that you guys are leading edge and you also have the ability to respond in an incredibly timely fashion to these people's needs. Okay, that's really the system in a nutshell. Any questions?
Do the learners, do they have to be registered with AEC Daily to, you know, register for a session? Like, do they have to have like a username and password?
If they're not already a user, then a username and password is created for them to be able to log in and pick up their certificate.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's provided to them. So let me just go back here to my email. Let me just show you. So when you submit your attendees, the system will send out an email to those who attended, thanking them for attending the session and giving them an opportunity to access their certificate.
Okay.
Anyone else? Wow, that was easy. Okay. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to thank you all. I just want to confirm, Kyle, are you going to send out my and Moji's contact information so that the group has that accessible to them?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Well,
and
thank you, everyone.
If anyone,
yeah.
I was going to say, if anyone has any questions or needs any help, I'm available as well, and Cindy is as well, and you guys have our contact information.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, thank you so very much. I appreciate your time this afternoon, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Kyle, did you need anything else from me before we go offline?
I don't think so. I mean, it's
okay.
pretty, you know, I'm sure you might hear from some of the